Bismillah walhamdulillah wassalatu wassalamu ala rasulillah wa ala alihi wa sahbihi wa man wala amma ba'd. Came across the other day a nice a nice clip on YouTube of a Sheikh Al-Bahjah hafidhahullahu tabaraka wa ta'ala, and he was speaking about himma, having high aspirations in regards to seeking knowledge. And he mentioned that there was a student who came up to him when he first started one of the universities. And the Sheikh asked him at that particular time, have you sought knowledge before? And the student, he replied back, no, I've never sought knowledge. He said, what books have you memorized? He said, I didn't memorize anything. He said, well, what lectures have you listened to? What conferences have you went to? He said, I haven't really did anything. I went to one conference one time of a scholar and I couldn't even tell you what it was about. He said, do you have a library? What type of books do you have? He says, I have nothing. He says, how much of the Quran have you memorized? He says, I've only memorized about 5 juz of the Quran al-Kareem. But he says, I really want to, and I'm very serious about seeking knowledge. I've made the point and I have this himma, this aspiration that I truly want to start seeking beneficial knowledge. So he started to tread that path, and he completed the memorization of the Quran in just under 6 months. In just under 6 months, he finished the memorization of the Quran al-Kareem after only memorizing about 5 ajza at that time. So in about 6 months, he finished 25 ajza of the Quran al-Kareem. What he would do was, and mind you, this is as he's a student in one of the universities, so he has other work that he has to do. He would pray Salat al-Fajr, and then he would remain in the masjid until the time in which he had to go to school. And he would sit there with the Quran al-Kareem, memorizing it and reviewing it. Then he would go to class, and he would stay in class. As anybody knows, the universities in Saudi Arabia, they go from about 8 o'clock in the morning until dhuhr. So he would come back to the masjid, dhuhr time, and basically sit there all day until Salat al-Isha, doing nothing except memorizing and reviewing the Quran al-Kareem. And then after Salat al-Isha, he would return back to his dorm, and then he would then focus on the university work that he had to do. And he continued upon this until he memorized the Quran al-Kareem in 6 months. And from that, which is amazing, is he ended up becoming one of the most prolific scholars in fiqh in this time. Sheikh Amir Bahjah, he mentions that he is from the mutqineen of the ulama of fiqh of this time, and he has many beneficial lectures. And this was a student that when he first started seeking knowledge, he didn't have anything. He didn't know anything. And he even mentioned in the end of the at the end of the clip, that he did not graduate from that university, except that his other classmates would actually come to him and they would ask him and benefit from him, even though they entered the university before he ever did. And even though when they entered the university, they already had previously studied and they had knowledge upon even entering the university. But with this individual and his hard work and his himma and his aspiration to truly want to be from the people of knowledge, he reached this tremendous level. So subhanallah al-Azim, this was a person that literally knew nothing. Outside of 5 ajza of the Quran al-Kareem, memorized nothing of the mutun, nothing of fiqh, knew nothing. He didn't have a library, he didn't buy books, but he had aspiration to seek knowledge, and he was serious about it. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala made him from the people of knowledge. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that He makes us from the people of knowledge, and that He gives us this himma aliyah, this high aspiration, and that himma, it is accompanied with actual action. Perhaps a person who have this high aspiration and who want to achieve many things, but he doesn't have the actual a'mal, he doesn't have the actual, he doesn't actually work towards it. He just thinks about it. وَلَا يَنْفَعُهُ ذَلِكَ. That won't benefit a person. He has to combine between having high aspirations and also working hard. So we ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that He allows us to be from these people who have high aspirations, and that these people who work hard, and that these people who learn the religion of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala so that they can act upon it, and then that they can spread it to others. Subhanaka Allahumma wa bihamdik. Ashhadu an la ilaha illa ant. Astaghfiruka wa atubu ilayk.